welcome back. We're just finishing up these two medieval buildings here. I think what is enough wool to pull this off, but it's possible that it won't be, but I am doubtful. I think we got the resources for that. Okay. Now it has been roughly 2 weeks, 2 and a bit. Excuse me. Since I did any building and since I've done these, so it's going to be a little bit of a task to figure out how I used to make this. I like that I did fill this out for myself. Okay, so let's see. I need to continue that blocking down. Let's go. Look at me. Having already built it all. The little staircase. That's pretty epic. Okay. The way I would go about this is it the corner piece here? Yes. So then that, and then in order for that to work out, I need one up here. Is that seem about right? Yeah. Oh, I see. But it's not. Oh, oops, daisies. Oh, no. Intense InfDev gameplay right there. Don't mind me, I just got a little bit of tea. Whoa. Oh my goodness. Oh my. And I'm dead. Wow. Love to see it. Oh my goodness. Oh my days. Something. It is very hard to fight an animal, a creature in this this gamer kingdom when you're on this version because hitboxes are so close. PvP has not been really thought out well. Now, I need... Okay. Oh. These guys are tough. Tough cookies. Now, let's not lose all the precious valuables I have been applying myself with this whole time. That doesn't seem like everything. No, that's because almost everything. Anything else here? Nope, I think I'm good. I think I got it all. Alright. Easy dub. Okay, well, I had a wonderfully curated inventory, but now I do not. So, we'll just have to do the kind of, how do you say it? Rambo style, run and gun style, just messy inventory. Just go through that way. All right. Oh, it looks like I've even made the bed. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. Yeah, for walls, I don't really use this. Oh, that means here, right? Oh, no. Doesn't look like it. Ooh. Okay, and then use a piece of dirt. Actually, you know what? A plank. And, this, but we'll just use it as a means to an end sort of here. So we need to take this off because these guys are not this way. Yeah, so this particular video series, like this episode, is going to be a bit of a new style. Oh, I didn't put it. Ah, whoops. A new style where I'm not I'm just gonna let you guys like sit through the entire building process, because most of the time I just cut the finished product. This is not strictly to like, I'm just gonna see how it flows, and then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'll go back to the old pause and play format, but hopefully this will be good. It's like I'm referencing my own building now, not referencing the actual pictures from last episode. That is crazy. Okay, let's finish up the floor, because I have fallen like 3 times now, and that simply cannot do. I simply will not allow. Yeah, and I was thinking about how last episode I ran out of wool, and I was like, I'm calling it quits on these buildings until I have more wool. And then I spent the last, like, week getting more wool. I've actually thought about that, and I feel like that was actually just cope. Like, I was just coping. I was like it was like procrastination. Oh, interesting. What if I... Ooh. Just realize who sleeps on a bed that's kind of like that, you know? Alright, what if it's just a single dude lives here? Yeah, we'll do that. There we go. Get into your bed. Oh, and we'll make the bed is like parallel with the window like this. You get to listen to all my sips in great detail. Yeah. Just wasn't really feeling making a Minecraft video. For some reason, like one of these for a while, but now I'm over it. I'm back into the world building. I think it was just because like this was built. I almost fell down again. This whole series is like it's supposed to be a break, sort of like something simple I can put out. This will be where it is. This is gonna be where the ladder is. Let's build the ladder actually right now. Oh, cheeky. This is supposed to be like my break from projects that take a long time, like filler stuff to be put in between longer time commitment videos. Oh my god. Oh, at least it didn't hit the building. Jeez. Like, it's like this is the most mobs I have experienced while playing this in probably like 3 months. Oh, one time there was like a bunch of creepers actually, like a whole bunch of them. So, dang. Well, there we go. I think this is gonna regrow just fine. Yeah, but back to what I was saying. Every mob is just spawning is not my luck. It was like when I was looking for sheep, man. It took a while. Mobs just don't spawn. So I'm gonna have to keep that in mind when I choose my next material. That actually totally sidetracked me. I need this crafting bench right here. Any more creepers? Oh man. So way back in the mine. Alright, enough of that. Okay, I think I only need 2. I'll come back if I need another one. And what was I going on? This is supposed to be that, and then I think I just kind of got it like a little overwhelmed with everything on how everything I wanted to have go, and just like the intros for these videos. Which is why I might not even do an intro for this particular upload. But I don't know, I'll find out when I am in the editing stage. I just want to keep this simple, just keep it fun, keep enjoying it, because once you lose the enjoyment for it, it's like, well, it's over, you know, there's no point in, well, not no point, it's just, you're like, that defeats the low stakes kind of flow state I'm supposed to be in when I make these, where it's like, yeah, it's not about that, whole thing. It's not about making like a high intensity video with lots of like career defining edits and such. Oh wow, and right when you're not looking for them, a whole bunch of sheep are blessed upon me. That's what it's Minecraft compensating for the fact that they spawned in 3 spiders and 1 creeper on my ass earlier. A whole herd of these guys. I wish I could like tame them and put them in like. Let me see. You can't even feed them. So it's like I just have to wait for them to spawn naturally because they despawn before they can eat the grass most of the time. Not that I have tried to make a farm with these guys, but I wonder if it would be possible. I want a pig. Mr. Piggy, come over here. Oh yeah. Oh, and he didn't drop anything. But they has friends. I actually walked back to my old Coliseum searching for these. If check out my InfDev world video, if you want to see that, it's on my channel. It's just a breakdown of what's built. I built it like way away before this was going to be thing. Before I decided to make this map art, but not map art, adventure map. But anyhow, in the Sand Coliseum, there was about like 50 pigs that all spawned there, and like this is a big pig spawn group, but it was like enormous. It was like a ridiculous amount of pigs were there, and I was like, why are these all not sheeps? If they were sheep, I could start recording on it right away. It's not a big deal though. Yeah, so I've just been off camera. I like the clouds look really nice right now. They look great actually. They kind of look like a wither. Not a wither, sorry, a ghast. It looks like a ghast. That's the texture of these clouds. It's crazy. Oh, that's because I don't have it in tiny fog mode. Yes. Sorry. It's the aesthetic. I had it on looking for sheep mode. That's what I call that. Anyhow, I was thinking, and I wanted to make this town like a lot larger, and I want to add an orphanage somewhere here. And I like the idea of it being like a town consumed by an elder god of some kind, right? And it being more about like the town than it is about the elder god, if it makes sense, and how it reacts to the elder god, but not like about it. So it's like this in the background here, just like sprouted out. And I was thinking like, I don't even know if I want the adventure map to really be about going in there so much as it is like that's an option you can do, but it's not specifically what you're supposed to. You're just like a traveler. You just heard some weird shit was going on, and I was thinking what I would do, like make this more of like a vibe piece, a mood piece, like than it is like an adventure. You're just exploring. It's like way less structured. And I was thinking of making like a playlist of like scripted rants and videos or whatever, and I'd put them on these, and it basically you'd get like a PDF document or a text document when you get this adventure map that has like a link to a playlist that's of unlisted videos, or just a playlist of videos. And when you get to like a room, like you would get here, there'd be a sign, and it's basically it would be like play video number 5, and then you go to that playlist on YouTube, you play video number 5, and then it would be like an atmospheric, like kind of one of the intros to this video, but like a little more thought out perhaps. And just describing the scene. If it's like there's a shop, maybe it's like you buy an item, or you're like talking to the shop owner, or it just describes the area. Like you could have like, if you go over here to the bar that's in there, I'm not gonna walk to, you would be able to have like play a video of talking to the bartender. I think that's a neat idea, and that just having like different characters just walking around the world, but it's through these video interactive, like non-interactive videos you play off the signs, and then there could be like a mini narrative going on. Ooh, sheep has wool on. Time to get at them, and it could be like there's like a narrative that's going on that you discover through the signs as you play them, and it's like you're not going to play them in any particular order. They might not be labeled in order. I would probably play them, I don't know what I would name them, but it would just be like you just play them as you find them. You don't play the playlist in order. You don't try and find 1, 2, and 3. You can play any of them, and then depending on like what you encounter, like maybe there's some recurring characters in the videos that play, and then you can kind of like piece together, you get your own version of the story. I don't know, this is just a way of storytelling that is that I'm thinking about, like multimedia, like kind of like ARG, you know, but like an alternate reality game, except it's not like that. It's just it's like a mixed media project almost. You know, you gotta open up Google. You gotta maybe go to a website. I don't know. Probably a YouTube playlist, and it would just play these, and that's my way. Because you can't really get a lot. Like the signs are too big for you to really leave them in the game and talk like a lot. Like you can, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of instead it's like play a video, because I'm better in video and in format anyways. Is like my storytelling forte. So might do that. That's like an idea. Yeah, and I just keep thinking about it, and I'm like, it's more interesting. Like, there's this game called Fear and Hunger that I'm sure some of you guys are aware of. I've never played it, although one day I will. One day I shall play Fear and Hunger, and it'll happen. But for now, today is not the day. And in that game, there's a lot of things. It's like there's the sequel. Sorry, the sequel, like the second one, Termina, Fear and Hunger, Termina, like Fear and Hunger 2, basically. That one is about like a ritual that takes place in a town, and they're trapped in some weird ritualistic thing. Yeah, 2 above. I gotta remember that. And I like that vibe a lot. And I think if I replicated some elements of that, it would be cool. And I think that's what I want to drag this in that direction. You know. I think that would be beneficial. Do this. And just gonna place that there. I don't know. I think that's a good inspiration for it. Oh, I didn't count the width of the ceiling. Let's see. Anyway, that's the direction I want to kind of head in more. So 1, 2, and then just block it off. Okay, we're blocking it off now. Nope, here comes the night. Here comes the sun. Dude, wow. They were really, the game really was like no wool, and then the moment I start recording, like I scoured this map for wool and sheep and animals and all that stuff, and they gave me none until now. I gotta go get after that one. You know what? I'll take it where I can get it. What can I say? Hell yeah. I wonder what it is that caused so many to spawn. I don't know. Well, whatever. Okay, let's box it in upstairs. Mm-hmm. I need to drop this. It's interesting how much more the wood planks and the dirt to the buildings adds, like, to this building feeling you get when you're looking at these. That's some good stuff. Actually, like, over a stack on wool now. Yeah, it's just nice to have this like sort of thing going on. I need okay. So just one down, like so. We can just do this. Yeah, because nobody can see what I'm up to. Okay, and then I see how it is. All right. Man, it's so fun making these like really intricate builds. And just in this such a limited version. It's a good challenge. I'm also trying a new thing where I make this video at the start of the week instead of as in like a rush at the end of the week. Because these are like, usually I'm like, oh, I will get a video done, but I've decided no matter how confident I am about getting the weekly video out, this series should be done at the first day, because it only takes like a day to make a whole one, and I should use that to my advantage and actually like get ahead on projects and just have like a growing amount of backup videos. Because it's like, if I got really quick with it, I could post a whole lot of these. I could just make, if I made like 6 days worth of this stuff, you know, that's 6 weeks of stuff. I could spend 1 week making these. But it's like, if I do one at the start of every week, even if I have a video that's ready that week, then I can just have these in backup. So I never miss a day. I'm taking the weekly upload schedule serious. I feel like this year is the make or break for my YouTubing career, so to speak, and keeping it consistent is absolutely key. All right, 1 second. Oh, time to pause. Okay, we back. Yes. Nope. Man, I've been watching like so many, just like I watch a lot of like video game like review videos, sort of like the Straft Tab video I made. Oh, can't do that. Can't have the patterns next to each other. It looks weird. And I have such a strong. Ah! No. Man, the amount of damage I've taken. Please, creepers, do not spawn in here and destroy me. That would suck. But I watch a lot, and I really like videos and analyzing video games, but I don't play video games. Like, I only play Minecraft. Like, everything else I do for YouTube. If I'm gonna play a game, I do it on stream. And if I do play one on my own, it has to be like a first-person shooter, or like something like mindless I can watch YouTube with. That doesn't require me to like listen. So that actually knocks off like a good number of first-person shooters as well. So it's like, it's funny. It's funny because it's like I get to experience a game without having to play it, and I kind of like that. I don't know. That's why I actually think that a lot of game video essay stuff is not as like, because they like someone like Pyrocynical, like they'll add he does some cool stuff so on top of that, but a lot of people are the same, and they don't add anything. But he'll be like, his addition to the game is that he 100% completes the game. Like his addition to the review, besides the art or whatever, but it's he plays a game to 100% completion, and then tells me the story, and then he goes, "Yeah, it was very deep. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was amazing." You know, it's like, wow. It's like he added nothing except that he played the whole game and explained it to me. But the funny thing about that is that that actually adds a bunch. That adds a ton, because it's like the actual, like it is like, you could, there's like a case to be made that like playing a video game is like actually like a lot of work. And so someone, you know, let's say when I want to get into some sort of story like that, I would have to invest a bunch of hours. Like, it's not physically hard to do. Maybe some games it's physically hard to do, but like on top of like, yeah, having to learn the skills of a game, like you have to just sink hundreds of hours into learning this just to find out like the story. Like one of the my favorite game lore game things ever is Fear and Hunger, and I've never played that game, and the story sounds awesome, but I will one day play that game, but it will be like, it will be a while from now, because it's not, I don't even know if I like RPG Maker style games. And if I don't, then That's fine. I let me do this. But it's like if I did, even if I did, it's like the amount of time it would take to like play Fear and Hunger 1 to the point where you know the whole story. It's like crazy, you know? And that's part of it where it's like you don't get the whole story, you get to make kind of your own story. And it's like everybody who like does those videos, they give you their version of events of what they think happened because, you know, finding the lore tidbits. But I think there's like actual value in doing that. Like for someone like me who would never experience that game in any other context. So I'm like, you know, actually, I'm actually solid. You're good. You know, like I feel to me like that's transformative. Otherwise, you know, like I wouldn't even have an opinion on this game. Like, not that I think like maybe I shouldn't because I haven't played it, you know, but I wouldn't have like any liking towards it either. You know, I think there's value in people who don't play the game but enjoy the ideas it presents, being able to like vicariously experience it through another person. And then there's also that element of it's sort of like a movie. Like a lot of these games, like Fear and Hunger, have a really interesting story that to me doesn't even feel like that over the top. Like it actually has good writing. Like something like Resident Evil. Like I'm actually playing Resident Evil 4 like on stream on this channel. That game, it's like it's a good playing experience. Like I understand why it's a successful, like, you know, I'm not dissing it in as a game, but story wise, I'm like something you know, I'm like it's a little it's not, it doesn't have that compelling of a story. The writing is kind of clunky. It's kind of a little mid. And you know, the voice acting is cheesy and definitely not really like what I would classify as good. But like the game, the actual playing of it is like the big difference. So a lot of these games, they have like the gameplay matters a lot. And there's like kind of, I guess, sort of a meme, but it's like sort of like this idea that like the worse the gameplay is, the better the story is, or like walking simulators having like good stories and stuff. But uninteresting gameplay. And that's like definitely true. Like a lot of games have that. And that's why a lot of stories I'll never experience because it's just not, it's just, I'm there for like an 18-hour movie where I have to repeat some segments because bad, instead of the actual game being fun. But when the game is fun, it's like the story is deprioritized, and it's like, not that it's even like terrible. Like I haven't played the newer ones. I'm talking about the 2004 Resident Evil 4. I have a feeling like Resident Evil 7, I think I'm gonna really like that on a story level as well. But I don't know. I've seen some bits of it, and it looks like fun, but also like it looks like I would be intrigued by what they're saying. Like it's presented in a more modern way. You know, it doesn't get that dated console era, you know, console moment stuff. So like transcribing that into a video format has value, and just like explaining that as a story, and you know, it's something I really enjoy, which is why like I want to make a video like that. So now it's like now I have to fight my like default state to go and actually like figure out the lore of a game. Like that Straft video that I made. I'm glad it did well, but it took a lot out of me, and I also realized that it was like there's not any lore to Straft. So what I did was like kind of pointless to just rank. Like for those who didn't watch it, I ranked every map in the free game. I actually missed a couple, but that's because they didn't update while I was filming, and I got half of the new maps, I think, or a quarter of the new maps, because it's like how they sorted it, and I didn't notice, but it's fine. It was too late by then to incorporate those, but at the time I had started, I did every single one that was in the game at the time that I started. So it was probably like 110 maps. Well, no, it's 150. So I probably did 140 maps. I should count them all. I haven't counted them all. But I ranked them all. But it was just totally pointless. Like when I was editing it, I felt it so much to like my core. I was like, what am I, this is such a waste of time. I'm just ranking maps for 27 minutes. Like I spent more than 30 hours of my life on that video, and just to spend like 2 minutes telling people to go play it, and then just going like, this one's an A, this is an A tier map, this is a B tier map, and it's like, for my next draft hat video I will not be ranking them all. Instead, I think I will give like a actual review, not a ranking, of maps, like the worst and the best of the DLC maps, and then like maybe go over why I think the actual gameplay of Draft Hat is like just why I enjoyed it, strategies, or something like more substantive. We'll see. I'm not in the writing stage for that. The actual video I'm working on next is I'm not gonna say, but I'll just say it's a different kind of game. It's a short one. I really enjoyed playing it, and I just have this idea in my head of like a good way to bring like a fun skit I could do. Because like for me, the best part of the Draft Hat video was the opening. Like that was a juiced edit for the start. And I really like making like sort of a cinematic moments sort of thing. That's like my favorite YouTube videos are the ones that go like above and beyond to be a little, just like that much more like juiced up. So I always appreciate when creator does that. And I always like in my mind when I think of like I want to be an artist, I want that like allure, that prestige. What I am talking about is when somebody makes something that's just that good. You're like, oh, that's amazing. Like that's impressive. That took a long time. And when they don't have to do it, it's like this video, you could absolutely not have done what you did. That work was not required. But wow, is it great? That's what I appreciate the most, when somebody does something like that. I'm like, oh, and I want to inspire that in people. So, that's what I want to do with the skits, because the skits I think are my ticket to something, because it's like a unique aspect that I rarely, like, people on YouTube used to make skits all the time, but now nobody really does it. Like skits are kind of dead. Like people make like they well-framed, well-shot videos, but they don't do the skits. And it's like, I'm not saying that like old 2009 YouTube videos are better than the ones we're getting without skits. That's not really true. A lot of them are terrible, but most of them are terrible and don't hold up at all. But the sentiment of like making some sort of narrative structure to your video, I just kind of like vibe with that. I like the idea of having like some sort of, not like your own creation that you make that people get to experience, as opposed to hold up, just deciding this is the play. Oh, okay, come on, we got to get that sheep. It's interesting. What block can I place? Right here, I can place wool, and then I'm just trying to not have like the same block in any direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's probably why, because I have one of every block in the surrounding here. So I'm gonna have to bite the bullet in some capacity. Oh, and I found it. I found the one block. There we go. And we're done. We're done the top of this. So let's go down and get harvest the sheep wool. But yeah, skits. I actually want to make a video. Like I not even want. It's just an idea that I have for a video. Like I might make it one day. Who knows? But just talk like I think the title is something like, why people don't make skits anymore, or why don't people make skits in YouTube anymore? It was a little more refined than that, but and I just want to like take example, like I ask that question because I feel like a lot of people like subconsciously are gonna be like, yeah, why don't people do it? They used to do it all the time. Like if you're looking like at the general YouTube landscape, there's the whole content cop is back, and what the biggest like thing that pissed me off when I saw that, like the opening of it, I'm not talking about the actual content cop, the content deputy, the follow up to the content cops. You know, on YouTube, content cop was huge for anyone who might not be aware, and they always had skits in them. They'd have like a beginning skit and an ending skit, and maybe like a skit in the middle of it. So they're, you know, like the cop character meandering about chasing the villain down or something. Okay, let's look and just make sure there's no more sheep to harvest. And they'd have these skits, and I always loved that. Like the last one before the new one, so like the second to last Content Cop had an entire like sort of 7 deadly sins like theme to it, and it was like sort of a detective discovers a cult kind of like subplot story to the skits, which I thought was just the coolest thing. Making like a so quasi movie, you know, as the background to your commentary on other people's existence on YouTube and like the culture. I always thought that was cooler than what he was talking about, honestly. And the mixing of the two is it makes for just such a way more of a unique flavor than an actual like movie where this plot is like a guy he follows this like series of crimes and then discovers a cult is backing him or whatever, you know. It's like that would be an interesting story on its own, but it's like the meta of it being like a YouTube commentary video is just so interesting. And the way, you know, it would come together was just so creative, and that was entertaining, and that it made it feel like more than just a commentary video. It made it feel like an event, because it's like he's like saying some valid points, and then there's this artistry to it, this theater to it that's like just like wraps it all up in a nice package where you're like, yeah, I want to put aside my full like half hour, 40 minutes of my own time to experience this this whole like thing as a one package without like putting in my second monitor and that. It's like an event. This is important. That's what it says. And people don't do it as much anymore. And I honestly, I feel like YouTube videos like that don't really exist. And so when the content deputy, the second like the sub series that he does to the Content Cop came out, he opened it with being like, let's just I'm gonna drop the theatrics or something like that, and he just didn't even do an opening sketch, which just it like didn't infuriate me, but I was just like, why, man? Like I thought the deputy was actually better than the first than his return Content Cop video was that had a sketch, but I liked the idea of the skit. It was a cool, like kind of like sort of a meta thing. It was neat in concept. Execution. We don't have to talk about the execution. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that I like when someone tries something creative. That's what I'm saying. And just the complete dismissal of that and the follow up. It's like you're taking the fun out of it. He's like, you got to take it serious. We got to be serious about this. I'm being serious, and we don't have time for that tomfoolery. And in my mind, I'm like, I love the tomfoolery. I have time for the tomfoolery. I'm the one watching this. Put some tomfoolery in there. I want to see something creative. I want to see I don't just like, the points of it are half of the reason I'm there, to see the battle of egos play out. And the other half is I am here to see you do some wacky, sort of like interesting artistic decisions in your video. I think that's like a big representation of that particular creator, Idubs' kind of fall off, because he's stopped putting as much of that creativeness. He seems to think it's like wacky or something, not worth doing. He seems to think we don't want to see it, but to me that's everything. That's the whole deal. So yeah, I just want to do more of that, and that's why the next video, that next game review one that I'm making before I make the Straft Hat 2 video, the Straft Hat DLC video, is gonna have it because I have this really good sketch idea. Well, it's not super like it's a I have this idea for it, basically, that I see an image in my mind of a good opening sketch, and I'm like, I gotta. You know, you see a window of opportunity, the window of creativity, and you're just like, I gotta pursue that. That's gotta happen. There's no reality where I don't make this happen. It's like what it is in my mind. It's one of those moments where you're like, this gotta happen. I gotta do it. It's good, and I think it'll. I hope it'll be cool. And even if it isn't, that's all right. But it's just in my mind as a good way to open the video, and it helps that the game is actually good as well. And I feel like it's also a small game that no one's talked about, so I think it would be deserving of more press. it would be deserving of more attention. So I will get onto that. Hopefully that'll be next week's video. So two there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 2 and then 4. I just gotta keep it going. All right, we'll do 1 gravel, and we'll try one of this, and then 4. Okay, that should suffice. Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to like up my storytelling, and that's why I've started like script writing. But the thing is, I started script writing my videos after not doing scripted videos for like years. Like I think the last, I don't know what the last scripted video was, but it's been a while, and that's because I have like an extreme aversion to writing. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4th. 2, 3, 4. And I need to fight through that because you can't plan any of the cool stuff that I really like, which is visuals, when you're working off of nothing. You're working off of a base of nothing. So you need that script. And honestly, it's like I never found it fun before because I don't think I was ever writing anything that I was enjoying too. Like I was like felt forced and painful, but now I'm starting to like kind of with this weekly upload schedule, I kind of don't have the time to be like, oh, this is so hard. So I just have to decide. I just have to like start, and then it's like, you know, you gotta lock in. You gotta make it happen. Okay, we'll do one more up. Let's see, can we? Ooh, nope. All right. Just making. I find it's easier to work on the outside because this is the most detailed part of the build, and the rest of it's basically just a square. Also noticed I didn't deck out the. Let's do this. Okay. Interior on this one, so let's do that. I need 2 furnaces, and let's deck it out, because you know you gotta have the cooking area and a bed, which I can make with this because there's no beds in this version of InfDev. This is another one. YouTube is very derivative. It's like it's not a YouTube is like. It's a great place for original work, but it's not when there's kitchen. Let's do kitchen right here. Oh, let's do like this is like a chopping block for you know, everything. And yeah, if you look at like things like independent animation on YouTube, it's like when it thrives, when it's like, you know, when creative works, like original stuff takes off, it takes off like crazy, right? It gets like hundreds of millions of views. But most original works of art and like stories and short films get no attention. It's like the 1%, and that's kind of how it works with any industry. But YouTube, it's like when you look at who's really running the show, who are the titans of that particular oh yeah, ooh, that's a good chopping block. Who are the titans of that kind of, like, who get the most views the most consistently, who posts the most? And it is absolutely slop tubers, people who just post lots of stuff. And it's like YouTube incentivizes that. Once you have an audience who will watch your videos, give them as many videos as they can watch, right? If an animation channel could post a 20-minute episode of their show every single day, they would, and it would do a fantastic. But you know, because the time to release scheduling, how much effort that is, just never works out, right? But for you to run a channel like how YouTube just wants you to do, which is spam uploads, post all the time. In order to run a channel like that and to pull it off successfully, you don't have enough time for super original ideas, right? So you just kind of are forced into a position where you have to recycle other people's stuff. You can't make a short film every single day. I mean, you could, but you couldn't make a 30-minute short film every single day that's worth watching, right? Like people who consume media to like hours amount of somebody's stuff every single day. Like somebody's going to watch an hour of your video every day is not going to spend their whole time watching that. Otherwise, people would watch a movie every single day, because like that was 2.5 hours or an hour and a half of 90 minutes of your time with 100% focus. Now, people want like side content. They want something that is on the side that they don't have to pay attention to. They don't have to stress about or think about, like, if this is, you know, like this is like, oh, this is worth, you know, like this is really important, I gotta pay attention, you know. Like people, they do that. Like like, here's the thing, it's like, have you ever like been like, oh, this is amazing, like even with a movie, you're like, this is a movie, I need to be in the right headspace to appreciate like a high quality movie, right? So then it's like, that's the kind of the idea where it's like people will put off watching something if they think it's too good. And it's like, that is such a cool, it's like, it's a neat idea where you're like, oh, that's so, like, if I make something that people think is good, and to an extent, like too much, people won't click on it. They'll put it in their watch later for the right vibe to experience it, right? And it's like, so that can even hurt yourself if you do too much high quality things too often. But it's like the kind of person who's going to watch an hour of you talking is going to do it on the side screen. They're not actually going to be watching. They're going to be doing it with other stuff. So that just kind of like impacts what you can do consistently because of what people will watch consistently. And it usually ends up being a guy, such as myself maybe, just talks for an hour about something. And those are, it's like, I'm not even really dissing those videos because I watch them, you know, but it's not like the most creatively inspiring thing. You look at that and you're like, oh, so this is the guy who runs everything, a guy who talks about somebody else's thing or some other thing that's like some other object of the culture conversation that's happening, you know. If you look at like the best of the best, I would say is probably like probably Meat Canyon, like his Pop It Meat channel, where he makes almost every day. It's like once every 2 or 3 days. It's like a 40-minute video about like a random internet topic where it's like, oh, diaper fetish. I saw that was one. And it's like the diaper fetish people. And it's like a 40-minute video about diaper fetish stuff. It's like, they're like, wow, these people are so crazy and gross. And it's like, yeah, oh, yeah, they are. But the craziest part about that is that the video is him like reacting to like reading like a Wikipedia article and like reacting to, like, I skimmed the video because I don't for some reason I just don't watch like Papa Meat's actual videos, but I see the thumbnails are always like, the thumbnails are always crazy. I really like his thumbnail game. And the videos, like for a while I used to watch them, and then I started catching on that these videos are just kind of just reaction videos that you think are higher effort than they actually are. But I mean, they are high effort. They've got like good edits. But what you get what I mean? It's like you're like, oh, I'm watching a glorified reaction video. I'm watching a reaction video with extra steps. I'm watching like a live streamer react to something, except it's not live, you know. And I just get this like, I don't know, I just don't feel the desire to watch it because it just feels so like throwaway. And it's like, yeah, he's just going on like Reddit and like reading posts. And I'm sure there's more to the video. Like he's on the upper echelon, and he's like the upper echelon. So it's like he might be working off bullet points. He might be working off like some sort of kind of general script. But like so much of these videos is you can't make 40 minutes of video that's or an hour or 2 or 3 hours, like the rate that he's putting it out. And these videos all be good, and these videos not just kind of be throwaway things. It's just you can't. Even if you had tons of people, it's like it all centers around him. He has to. One of these videos, he's going to be a phone in, and I think it's more than not, right? But it's just like you get into like a routine of making it. But it's like I look at that and I go, that's the most successful thing. That's what I'm like, that's the ideal. That's what YouTube wants me to make. And it just kind of makes me depressed because it's like, yeah, what are YouTube videos I watch? I watch videos about like 8-hour video essays about, like, obviously not in one go, but 8-hour video essays about video games. Like I the whole breakdown and analysis of Darkwood by Pyrocynical or something, or other people like Tim Rogers or something. Just like long videos talking about somebody else's artistic work. And I want to be I want to be an artist. And these people who make these essays, they are artists, but it's in the vein of being able to articulate their thoughts and present their thoughts on somebody else's work. They're commentating on someone else's work. They're analyzing someone else's work. They're like a, what do you call it, like a literary critic? No, it's sort of like a critic, but it's like a literary analysis. Like they are thinking about other people's stuff. They're creating something that is art, in my opinion, but it is through the lens of someone else's work, or someone else's work through their own lens, through their own imagining, which is like kind of an interesting meta kind of situation. But for me personally, I want to be the guy who makes a movie that somebody makes a video essay called like One Perfect Frame, and it's about the perfect shot that I did in this one movie. You know, I want that. That is something that I want to have said about my films. Like I don't want to be talking about somebody else's film. I don't want to be talking about someone else's comic. I don't want to be talking about somebody else's video game. And obviously this is what works. Like if you look at my Straftab video, it has like 6K views in like a couple of days. It got a lot of views really quickly, and because I'm talking to, like, you know, people like that. They like that, talking about other people's stuff, and I like that. And it's like, but I do have to, I kind of struggle with it in my own mind of like, yes, I do like it, but I also want to make my own art, and I don't want to get like other people's things. I don't want to be someone who only talks about other people's stuff. I want to make my own. I want to make stuff worth talking about. And it's like, not that those videos aren't worth talking about. It's like, if you get what I mean, I want to be the person who someone else is interpreting my work through their lens, instead of the art being the interpretation. I want the art to be the art that is being interpreted. Because I'm not even dissing these like forms of artistic expression, because they're valid in my eyes. That's totally valid to talk about somebody else's creation for hours and hours and hours, longer than the actual creation has existed. That is completely valid, and because you're adding something. If you talk about something for if you talk about a movie for longer than the length of the movie, there's no way you didn't add something. You know, you could, a lot of it could be filler. I hate when I watch a video and somebody's just explaining the entire movie to me, and then they do their little like analysis of it, sort of, or they don't even do that. Like Pyrocynical, great. That format works for video games for me personally, because it is okay, hold up. Okay. Because it works for me personally, because I'm not going to play this game. So when he explains the whole game to me, step by step, I'm listening, and I feel like I got to experience the game. I got to experience something that I would never do on my own. But when he talks about a movie, and he just explains the entire movie or the entire show, beat for beat, and doesn't add anything until after the fact, where he gives his little 2 cents, or barely does, I think to myself, what a waste of time. I should just watch that movie, because I would watch that movie. It would be shorter than his video essay, and even if it was longer, I would have a better experience with it. Like, I would have a more enjoyable go of it if I did just not just skip his skip this person's video and just watched it. Because I don't think it's adding enough. Like, most of these people don't, like, if they talk about it for 5 minutes and they give their insight on it, that's different. Or they give an hour-long insight of it, but it just to verbatim tell you the plot of a movie is just, to me, it's just like, that's a whole movie. Just go watch the movie. Like, this actually feels like theft. Okay, I think. to an extent. It doesn't feel very creative. Okay. Something about this. So it's just usually, there's pitfalls and trying to avoid things like that. Okay, that's why there's a whole bar above the window that I need to add on to. That explains a lot of why this is not mirroring properly. And yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I respect a lot of the art and all that, but I find that I aspire to be more than that, or aspired for a different, to be a making of a movie. Every time I see a movie, it makes me want to make films. Like, I want to talk about a movie, or even if I play a good game or something like that. I want to make games. I want to talk about games, or I want to read a comic book. Like, I want to make a comic book. It's like I want to talk about it, but what I want to do more is make something like that. And it's like if I spend my whole life like avoiding that and just talking about other people's work, I'm never gonna be that guy. And it's like, you are what you do, and it's like, that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But what I want to do is make some art, tell a cool story in a cool way, have some like cool ideas, and just try to express them to people. And if I don't start now, I'll never do it. Like, you don't make a film tomorrow. You make a bunch of little short films for like 10 years and build your way up to that, right? I mean, I could probably try and make a short film or a full film tomorrow, but it would be bad, right? And it's like, how do you make a good thing? You have to make a bunch of bad things. So it's like, make a bunch of bad short films, fail as often as possible, and then you'll be up there. And that's where you want to be. You want to try and brute force that whole system, which is why it's like, if I became successful on YouTube making video essays about other people's work, I wouldn't have become successful making movies or making like short films or experimental visuals about my own work, right? So it's like, what time should I dedicate to it? Now, I think I'm still going to do it, because it's like, when I watch a really good video essay about a topic, about somebody else's thing, I want to make a really good video essay. Like, I just get like that, where I'm like, oh, I saw something cool, I want to do that cool thing. I want to be able to create some cool, I want to elicit the emotions like of a really well told video essay that's actually really more of just like somebody's personal like life story. I just like that, and it's just like, I want to be able to articulate like that. I want to be able to present someone else's art in a way that's like impactful. I want to be able to transfer that, my emotions and my feelings towards something, to other people. All right, 1 second. And we're back. For me, it was quite a long time, but for you, it was a mere second. Yeah. We were talking about, you are what you do. And I believe that wholeheartedly. It's like, if you want to be a director, you gotta direct. If you want to be a filmmaker, you gotta make films. And if you want to be a YouTuber, you gotta make YouTube videos. You want to be an animator, you gotta make animations. And the problem is, I have this like fractured thing in my brain where I want to be all these things. And I'm just gonna have to, like, right now, it seems like I'm just leaning towards being a YouTuber as the thing that I will do. Okay, I want it to be here. It's gonna be where it is. And it's like, that's all right. But I think I can kind of have my cake and eat it too, in so much as I totally can add my filmmaking aspirations to the YouTube format. That's why skits to me are so important, because that's like a mini film. That's a little bit of storytelling in every video. And I can kind of level up my game in that regard, and my skills in that regard, while still talking about a video game or some other dang. Yeah, some other who knows what. Who knows what's going on. But I would also like to make some short films. I was watching a couple on YouTube actually, and it makes me think that it's like there's more of a market for short films on YouTube than I thought previously, because they're kind of just like they're short films, they're bite-sized movies. So there's kind of this appeal to that like ADHD sort of brain where it's like, yeah, I won't watch a 4-hour long movie, you know, or a 2.5, even I won't spend 90 minutes with my full attention. But what about like 8? What about 12? You know, that I think there's like potential there where it's like in a direction I could send my channel in some point would be to make a short film or a couple and post them on YouTube. And I can submit them to film festivals if I think they've got that you know, that special quality. And you know, it's possible that they might. I don't know about that, but it might. Oh, I have forgotten if I need to look inside the building again. It's just a lot of stuff to it, and you know, this is just one of these, like, this is kind of a middle way, halfway ground, which is like I can do a long form rant of some kind. I can excuse me. I can meander about whatever I want while working on a project. Like, I have been thinking like live streaming. A lot of potential in live streaming, a lot, because it's like people want background noise, right? And I don't like making background noise that much, but if you add in the added thing where it's the background noise is I'm live and I'm just working on projects, that adds like a lot, in my opinion, to the potential, oh my goodness, to the potential a buy-in for someone's time and attention. So it's like I can compete with people. Like, look at someone like Asmongold. Like, that guy, he just reacts to YouTube videos. That's his job. That's what he does, and he does a good job of doing reaction videos, and people watch him. You know, and it's like, does he add anything great to the world? Absolutely. I'm gonna hit a hard, firm no. He does not add that much, other than his voice to the cultural consciousness. But that kind of cultural, adding your voice and your perspective on things, it's overrated, in my opinion. I think it's not that important. Most people don't have anything important to say. So I'd say Asmongold's voice on things is only important when he's talking about World of Warcraft and sometimes other video games, but I mostly think just World of Warcraft. Like, whatever he says on that, I believe, no question about it. Unquestioning belief. He's right. Whatever he said about it, he's right. Yeah, so there are avenues, absolutely. So I'm not hopeless or anything, and I just realized, like, this isn't even a new realization. I had this realization a long time ago. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, I believe 1, but it might have been Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It was 2. I remember now. It was 2. And I was like, I want to be a filmmaker. It's kind of funny because it's like that movie's not. It's not. You know, it's a good movie. But I watched that, and I was just like, as that left, like, I think I might have been 14 when that came out, and I watched it in theaters. But it hit, man. I was like, I want to do this. I want this to be something I make. I want to be able to make something like this. Is what I was thinking. I was like, I want to be a director. I want to make these films. I want to put my creative energy to use and make something like that. And I haven't made a film yet. I have made a few short films back in my time. Real ones will know the sock puppet short film that I made. Real ones know that one. The OG. OGs. They know what's up. OGs representing. Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll put this here and but I've also done a couple others, I think, but I see like a path. I just gotta make more of those. It's just I went to, oh yeah, this was the most eye-opening experience, because it's like, you know, you're like, I want to be a director, I want to make films, but you're like, okay, how do I do that? There's like no way, you know, I could get into like a film, like a prestigious like film festival or something. No way. It'd be too hard. Like, they have standards, and I could never make anything as good. Like, that's kind of like the mindset you kind of get into. It's like it isn't a good, you know, it's not a good way to, you know, like look down on everything like that. But what I'm trying to emphasize here is that you absolutely can. I went to TIFF, which is the Toronto International Film Festival for those uneducated, and yeah, and I went there, and I saw like 3 or 4 movies there, something like that, and dude, one of them was like genuinely I could, oh, it was 2, I think. There was like 2 there that I watched, and I was like, this, I could make this movie, and I could do it better. I could make a better movie than this guy made. There was two directors worked on it, and you could tell anyhow that it was like a lower budget film, and it wasn't like something they took super serious. And the TIFF people still were like, yeah, this is good enough to play in our theater. And in that mind, that was like eye-opening to me, because I'm like, it came together, but it wasn't good. And to me, that like it's like when I see something that, in my opinion, is not a good, like it's not like it's not cinema, it's not great cinema, you know, something. It's like it's not even horrible. It's just like mid, or like something where it's like just something about the production is like, I feel like I could do this. So it just gives me so much hope. But this wasn't like a case where I was like, I could do this. It wasn't like I feel like I could do this. It was a case of I know I could do this, and not just I could do this. I could do it better than they did. And I just like, it's just like, yeah, like I should get into making films there, because short films, because I actually could add to the ecosystem, because I realize I have that vision. And even if all of my artistic ability falls flat, it could still make it into a like internationally respected film circuit, you know? And that's where the actual opportunities are made. You get a short film or something into a film festival. It wouldn't be, I don't know the whole thing with short films, but you know, you get your film into a big one. There's gonna be people at those festivals just looking at those movies. They're like, the directors are there, you know, they're gonna try and buy the rights to distribute that if they think it's worth it. So, you know, if you make Peak, and it might get picked up, right? Now, obviously, you got to fund it yourself, yada yada. But short films, similar thing on a smaller scale. You make short films, you send them to short film festivals, and you know, if you get like some awards, you bring up some notoriety, and then you know, you build up a lot of skills, and then at those short films festivals, you'll find that there will be people that are watching that might be interested in giving, like, supporting more, you know, and or like putting you in some sort of position where that, you know, you could make more art for higher budgets and whatever. Like, obviously that's like a sort of a social random gamble angle, but you know, like there's this one director, he made the Until Dawn movie that's in theaters right now. His name's like Pony Masher on YouTube. And he's like, he made short films on YouTube. He made Lights Out, like the feature film, but he also made 2 Lights Out shorts, I believe, on YouTube, or at least one. And it got like 16 million views on YouTube. And he was able to pivot that 16 million views, which was something he shot with like his wife, and that's it. Like his wife and himself. It was a really simple, basically jump scare short film that got 16 million views. And because it got 16 million views, somebody important must have seen it somehow. And he was able to spin that into making like 3 or 4 Hollywood feature films. Like he made Shazam 1 and 2, and it's like he made Lights Out 1 and maybe 2 as well. And he's making the Until Dawn one. And I like his videos because they break down like what it's like being a director, basically. And it just seems like it's cool. Like I like his trajectory, not projection, but his trajectory of a career. It's like YouTube short filmmaker to studio short filmmaker, basically. And he was really lucky, right? But it's like that is as a path, right? And that's an interesting like way to kind of like work your way up the chain that I'm definitely taking notes from. And at some point soon, I would like to make some short films. And I just want to incorporate the short film stuff into videos on YouTube. I know will do well because I do see myself as a YouTuber, and I want to make YouTuber videos, not 100% short films, but I do want to make short films at some point. It's just like I'm sort of contradicting myself. It's like I said, I want to do what I see, and when I see good movies, I want to make good movies, and when I see good YouTube videos and video essays, I want to make that. And it's all sorts of like sort of like conflicting, I guess, because I'm like, here I am with so many wants and things that I think I would be really cool to like do, and I would be able to pull off artistically, and then just too much of that, and I'm not able to focus and dial in on one specific niche, like, and really like thrive in one particular aspect. And so far, it seems like I've made the most contacts in the YouTube sphere. So YouTube is where I think I have the biggest chance of like making a career just on YouTube through like the YouTube sort of meta, making videos people on YouTube would watch. And it's like, if you're conscious about it, you don't have to worry that you're like going to get trapped into making a certain kind of video the rest of your life. Right? I can always make short films when I'm older. It's good to just be aware that you might just get too used to doing it and get trapped up and never do the thing you actually want to do. I was just hearing about stuff like behind the scenes about like the Corridor Crew people, or not. It's not even behind the scenes. It's kind of obvious. But it's like the Corridor Crew. They do VFX breakdowns, but what they want to do is they want to make feature length films, and they're huge on YouTube, right? Millions of views per video. Cool stuff. But their videos they're good at making YouTube videos, but they're not good at making. Like, there's no studio that wants to back their projects, and it's like they might say it's because they're not willing to take risks or something, but it's like, from what I've heard, it's just because they're not good storytellers. They're not good at writing. They might be good at making like a short YouTube video one, but long term, they're not like receptive in that way that like a studio would want to like compromise and being able to, you know, work on some sort of like film and make a good product or something like that, you know, because they're good at making YouTube videos that keep people's attention, but they have not got a lot of back work on how to just keep people, like, make a good movie, because they're not the same thing. Pacing and editing is different, and scripting. So it's interesting because they're like in this position where they want to make movies, but they can't pull it together to actually make movies because they don't have the skill set. They haven't been developing the skill set to make movies for however many decades it's been now that they've been on YouTube, right? They're always making these, like, you know, informational YouTube videos, which is good, but it's like that's not what they want to do. They want to make movies. Like, at least this is what I've heard. I don't know how true it is, but I more so just say this because I see that as kind of like a warning. When I see somebody else, like, from what I hear about or see, like the downfall, what it is, it's like when somebody else is not achieving what they want or is in like a spot that's not as great. I usually take it as like a learning lesson so that I don't have to experience that, but I know to be wary of it's potentially happening to me. So that way I can, you you know, not not accidentally do exactly what they did and completely just be miserable. And I struggle with that a lot. Like I don't particularly like, I don't always enjoy making Minecraft videos. There's a time when I got really burnt out and I still made them, and I just felt like YouTube was just a burden, sort of, but it was also the only thing that I knew how to do. So I was like, I don't know, like I need to switch genres, and now I'm like more confident that I can just make something else. If I don't want to make a Minecraft video, I can just make a different video. It's not a big deal. But when I was younger, it's like kind of was, and even now I still have that. Like my new video, I really wanted it to be that aforementioned game review that I have not made yet. But I just like could not, like I did not have the time to pull it off. So then I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to make another Minecraft video as filler, which is what this is. You know, I'm thinking really negatively about, you know, my open videos. I'm like, these filler videos that aren't my real art that I'm making. So I was just like, and then I was just like, yeah, instead of making one, why don't I just make a different video? And I ended up writing up that script for a rant on existence. That's the title of the video, and making that instead. And it wasn't an 8-minute video like what I normally want all my videos to hit. It wasn't, you know, I don't think it's going to get a lot of views. It's definitely not going to perform as well as this video is when it drops. I'm almost 1,000% sure of that, actually, just because there's just like I have an audience that watches particular things, and I know that this is like, it's like making a video called that for this channel is just not gonna, it's not gonna net the video, like the viewers that I'm you know, it's just when you run a gaming channel and people like primarily like people who subscribe to me for gaming, they are not going to watch something that's not gaming, and then, you know, it's going to ripple down. Obviously it could still, you know, get attention later, but off the bat it is not going to perform as well. But I made it anyways. Now why'd I make it? Because sometimes you just got to do that. It's like I got to remind myself I still got something else other than the gaming. You know, you get suckered into doing the same thing all the time. You get tired of it. You just want, and then, you know, if you don't let off that steam, you're gonna like be miserable. And, you know, like it is, I don't have to box myself in like that. One video, it's not gonna hurt. Although it would absolutely help if the next video was another game review, because I got like 90, no, I think it was like 70 new subscribers that were all from the StrapDev videos. So it's like if I followed it up with the same kind of video, I would probably get instantly a 70 new, like immediately there viewers for that particular type of video. But I didn't, and that's all right, because I will make it later, and it'll probably do well as well. You know, it's not as black and white. It's not end all be all, but, you know, it would help if I had just done that. But time was a constraint, and I could have just not uploaded. But I know myself, and I struggle with a procrastination, and sometimes, especially when you're working from your own deadlines, you just, you know, you need to kind of like force out something that's not up to all the standards, but you check it off. You know, I made the weekly video, that week's video, it happened, I did it, and oh, it looks like I have run out of ores. Oh well, guess I gotta end the video. No, I will do it. Oh shit! Oh, imagine I died there. That would suck. Okay. Oh, well, speaking of food needing, I'm gonna get these pigs. Come here. Yeah. Yeah, so this is lots of projects, you know, don't get burned out. That's what I'm working on. And you know, you take a little break, you'll get reinvigorated with a project. Like, you know, I'm doing this, I changed up the format for this. Like, I'm not going to make an intro for this video just because I've made a few and it started feeling like forced. So I I don't want to make a forced one. And I also, instead of it just being about the building, I wanted to do like a rant. Does that mean next week's video is going to be the same? No, probably not. Or not next week's, but the next one in this series will probably be... I don't know. I don't know what it'll be. We'll see how I feel, but I've got that like sort of like I got the ADHD brain where it's like you gotta switch it up with something new, otherwise you're gonna get bored and then you're not gonna perform to them. You're just gonna phone it in. You're gonna feel terrible, or you're not gonna do it. And I'm at a point in my life where things need to get done, and I cannot daddle or dawdle, whatever. I cannot put things off. I am not in a position where that's going to do me any good at all, or even be a neutral. It'll be a net negative for me. So it's just keeping to the schedule. It's like every week there's every Friday there's a new video, and I've kept it up for like almost 3 months now, and I will only slow down when I think I would benefit greatly from not posting every week, because like that Straft Hat video took 5 months of my, not 5 months, sorry, 5 weeks to make, which is a long time. So it's like, you can't just like make that in a week. You can't make 5 weeks of work into one week. I can obviously streamline and like have more free time. I didn't spend every single day working on it, but I spent a lot of time working on it. And it's like I can grind more, but it'll lead to burnout again. It's like there's a balance, and eventually I'll probably be like, I want to spend more than like one day on a video that's a filler for like other videos that I'm working on, right? And I want to only post the ones without the filler. Then that will probably be the day I switch to once every 2 weeks or something, instead of once a week. But until then, I think for me, this deadline is an important step into a successful YouTube career, and I would like to take off at some point soon, like properly make this financially viable as a career. It'd be very convenient if this happened sooner than later. But that'll be dependent on my output and dice roll as well, because YouTube is gambling. I think you can do it all right and it still not work out. Obviously, if you do it all right, way higher chance of it working out, but it still might not. You still might end up somehow just never quite hitting it off, It's like some people are lucky that way and some people aren't, and I've been kind of in a bit where it's like my skills have evolved so much in the last like 3 years since I started working like for other people and getting like really good quality feedback on my creation and all my editing and storytelling, and just being older and having kind of mellowed out a little bit attention span wise, and gotten things, just gotten a little wiser or whatever. Things have gotten easier, but I was going somewhere with that and I lost it, but no biggie. It's not a biggie at all. Yeah, just trying new things. Yeah, writing is a big one. I like that I've sort of been able to like open up my ability to write. I had this opportunity to be a part of a book, and that is the first time in like 3 years, maybe even longer, that I'd actually tried to write anything. And my goodness, that was so hard. It was genuinely like very painful. It was a high pain task for me to do, was write that, because it's just like I needed that idea. Like I couldn't let myself do it unless I had that idea that made sense. And it took a long time for me to find, oh, I didn't realize. It took me a long time to make that, to figure out what I wrote about, which I did end up writing about, and it's in the book. I only ended up writing 4 pages to contribute as my portion of the book, but you know, 4 pages is turned out to be enough for that book, so that's hype. But like a lot of, you know, like, you know, you start small. I don't write books. I don't write at all, really, you know, and it's like 4 pages after not doing anything for 4 years in that like particular domain. Huge. That's huge. And I think it worked out. I like what I wrote. I was rereading it because you got to do like formatting checks and whatnot for videos, not videos, for books when you're making them. They need to like format them for publishing or something. And you know, you do a lot of goes at it. You know, you're rehearsing, well, not rehearsing, but revising. Just revise and revise, and that's how you make anything better, is multiple revisions. But you know, sometimes you don't have time to do lots of revisions. Like I have that all the time happen with videos. Sometimes it's not worth it to do multiple revisions. Sometimes an idea is just not that good. Ooh, we'll take this and we'll take this. But that aside of this one was worth it, and I did it, and it got better. It was like a noticeable improvement for each time I went through it, and I like what I wrote. It's not amazing, but if you put it in the context of, yeah, this is the first thing I've written in forever, and this was just, it was honestly the reason I started writing scripts again was because of that book, and it was kind of like inspiring because I just was like, I was set, you know, like to just not write anything for like years, right? And then have the opportunity to partake in a book that's going to be published and be a published author, even if I could write anything I wanted. It's like, I was like, all right, I'm in. I have to. I'm not allowed to say no to that. That's too good of an opportunity. And so I did not say no, and I made it, and it was only 4 pages, but those 4 pages make me a published author. So, and once it's published, it'll be official. I'll be in the hall of authors that are published by a publishing house. It's so funny. It's so funny to think of that, because it's like me of all people, a published author. Like I've thought about it, but I was like, I could never, you know. And it's like through a publishing thing. It's not self-published. It's published. That's just so funny to me. Because it's just one of those things, you know, like life happens, and suddenly you're writing for a book that's actually gonna get published, and it's only 4 pages. And it's like, it's just like it. I don't know. I struggle with that idea. I'm not gonna say what it is because I'll just wait for the book to come out before I start really talking about it. But it only makes sense because it's like nobody knows who I am, and it's like a YouTuber book that a bunch of YouTubers are talking about, and I was like, I couldn't think of anything to talk about because I have no videos that I've talked about like essay style writing or anything. And then I came to that idea just kind of like complete luck, just randomly, just happenstance. It was kind of just doing a thing. I realized I could just make that thing I was doing into a book, because I'd written another different topic for it that was really not great and needed work, and I just didn't want to work on it. And yeah, so I lucked into just having something like I thought was all right, and in a meta way, I think works good. And I stand by what I wrote. But it was just, you know, it's short. I don't know. It was just cool. It was a cool thing to do, and it kind of did kickstart me into just being able to write more stuff because that needed to get done. It did get done, and now I kind of like got to break that writing thing down really quick, as well as my return once I started doing the weekly videos. I started with a Family Guy memes. Why is the Family Guy meme like? Why? What happened? What's up with AI Peter? Something like that. AI Peter Griffin, and I wrote that in like a day. I made that whole video in a day, and I wrote a script, I recorded the script, and I read the script, and I edited it all in the same day, and it did like pretty well right away, because just because it was a catchy topic, and I happened to know that I needed to make that video. We're gonna change up the color of the bed. Yeah. Oh, we'll do this. Oh, they're sleep together. They're sleeping with their toes touching. Yeah. So I did that, and then I was like, well, I realized I could make like a borderline decent video in one day. I can definitely make one every week, and obviously that was like lightning in a bottle there, and there's other things, but I kept that going, and I kept the writing going, and now I make scripted videos every once in a while, and I have something always cooking in the background while I work on, while I make these shorter videos, or not shorter, but less, like I'm not gonna edit this video. This is, this is an hour and a half in, and we finished it up an hour and a half in, almost finished. I think I didn't do the upstairs here, or I didn't do the other side. I did do the upstairs here, I didn't do this. And I'm just gonna see how this does. And I feel right in the moment right now pretty creatively fulfilled with just my, oh, you know what? They're gonna sleep downstairs. This is a bed under the stairs, Harry Potter style, and they cook on the top floor. What are they, crazy? But yeah, just you know, sometimes you gotta give yourself a break. It's not a break if you put a bunch of effort into it. It's sort of the mentality of shooting yourself in the foot right away as soon as you start something. Yeah, and I want to spend the rest of this week like, I'm gonna do this. Put it here. I want to spend the rest of this week working on that other video, so I have some higher quality things, and who knows, maybe I'll finish it before the end of the week, and because I'm filming this on Friday, I think it's Friday, might be Monday, no, Saturday, which means I have a whole week, or a week, and yeah, I just got a whole week before there, so I could make the video in the next 6 days potentially. And then this video is just going to be bumped off to the next week until I need it. So yeah, there you go. We finished the houses. They're all done. I'm pretty satisfied with it. And just so like you guys know, this is how much time goes by when I hit pause. In the last 3 ones, I've hit pause and then unpause when the video is finished. And it does take at least an hour to build pretty much everything in each video. It was at least an hour of me building, potentially a lot more, and it's been good. I like this dock, I like that over there, I like warehouse, and these Victorian era houses I am a big fan of. I think this is going to be like the middle class sort of district, like not actually rich, but they're not like completely poor, not slums, they're slum adjacent. How about that? I want to make actual slums at some point, and when that happens, it will be glorious and very poor. I think here's going to be where the orphanage will be. I'm going to make the orphanage probably next video. I'll be starting work on it. I don't know if I'll finish it, but we'll see. All right, there we go. That's that. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.